Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is going to be this grapple melee feature that we've already talked about a little bit more leading up to the Vidoc and everything. As you can see, most of the classes have 3 melee charges, right? The Titan and the Warlock do. And this is the grapple melee, which takes the place of your grenade. And initially when they used it, you'll see, at least if you watch the Vidoc, because I'm not going to be showing the raw video of the entire Vidoc, but as soon as they enter this grapple melee animation, the melee charge changes to a grenade to signify that you are using a grenade charge for your grapple melee, which they said that's what the grapple melee takes a hold of, is your grenade. Just thought this was a pretty cool way of like just further showing how it would look in game, and that's why we led with it. Also, you do see the strand symbol next to the SMG, which is pretty dope. Now we will be getting a strand SMG. Also, take note of that stasis heavy grenade launcher at the bottom there, because we're about to talk a little bit more about that right about now. Okay, so now that you're thinking about that stasis grenade launcher, here it is again. Now, the reason why we're talking about it is because if you look in the background, you'll see that this is a wave frame stasis grenade launcher in your heavy slot. All right, that is obviously a first of its kind. It's going to be the first stasis wave frame, as well as it being in the heavy slot might allow it to bake Riven even faster than the special wave frames do already. All right, but that's it for the grenade launcher. I just thought this was kind of cool. Stasis wave frame heavy grenade launcher. I had to mention it. All right, now real quick, this is a look at the loadout screen, right? This is basically like your armor, you have your weapons, all your mods, all in one place, which is really handy. If you look in the top right, you'll see that there is a void weapon surge that is going to act as the new sort of font of might. Font of vigor is basically going to act as a boost to melee regeneration or strength. I'd imagine maybe not so much damage, but you should definitely get more melee energy back while you have stacks of armor charge with this Font of Vigor mod. At least that is my headcanon. Now, if you look over on the left, you'll see that in the heavy slot, there is a new perk that looks really interesting on that LMG. We will take a look at that in just a quick second. So in this next screenshot, you'll see that they go a little bit further into like the mod screen, right? So this Font of Agility is going to be similar to that Font of Vigor, I'd imagine, where you gain a bonus to mobility while you have an armor charge. Okay, another cool thing to note is that you can basically see all of the costs for these mods. The only ones in this screen that cost 4, and these are for your boots, I mind you, is obviously going to be the resilience that they mentioned was be getting a cost increase anyways, and then the stacks on stacks, which I believe is literally the exact same. Everything else is 3 or less, which is pretty good. As you can see, all of the new weapon surge mods, which is like the new Font of Might, you even got the stasis and the strand in there. The solar is a little bit hard to see it behind the agility, but there's a good amount of stuff to see, at least in this one screenshot. And this is just a closer look at the new weapon surge mods, which is basically the replacement for Font of Might. As you can see, your void weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. Notice it doesn't say anything about matching subclasses because you don't have to do that anymore. I believe it starts off at 10% and then it can get up to 22%. Now we have to wait and see if that's going to be stackable, because that's the main thing that made Font so good. But you'll also notice that at least for the holster mods, they just went ahead and branded them into elements instead of weapon classes. You got kinetic, arc, solar, stasis, strand, and void, of course. And then that one at the bottom right, I don't know what that is. I don't know what the hell that symbol is, bro. Oh, by the way, that LMG that we were talking about earlier, that perk that it had, that new perk, that perk is going to be called Hatchling, which will be really cool to see what that does. And in this loadout screenshot, there's a few things I want to note. First, obviously, you see that that is all hunter armor. I imagine that is the seasonal armor for the hunter. Second, you see that you have Radiant Light and Powerful Friends both on the helmet, on the same armor piece. Okay. You then have what looks like to be just a strand weapon reloader on the gauntlets. That seems like a pretty cool mod if it's just literally all for the same element. That's pretty dope. And then the last thing that I really want to talk about is not the incandescent sword, not the other weapon that has hatchling, but this weapon that seems to look like a waveframe GL with Volt Shot. If that is a Volt Shot waveframe, is that going to power creep mod for Barons? I don't know, but I'm intrigued about that. I thought the screenshot was really cool, definitely worth a few things pointing out and sharing. Then we have some more early looks at the Guardian rank system, as well as the challenges and how they're going to be more separated, easy, I guess, to organize them, go through the categories. It just looks a bit more clean and slick. And as well as the new commendation system, we got some more looks at that. As you can see, there was a good amount of them. There's at least 5 that you could choose. Definitely going to be throwing out that emotional support for everybody that does the lowest damage. I'm kidding, not really. Now the last thing that I want to show and talk about, I do believe could be raid spoilers, as I believe that what I'm about to show is the entrance to the raid. This was shown in the Vidoc, but here it is. Here's a screenshot. As you can see, there's 6 people. They already confirmed that the seasonal activity for this season of Defiance, is going to be another Battlegrounds, which is 3 players. Maybe this could be something like the Wellspring for Witch Queen, kind of like how we had that 6-player activity. But I 90% believe that this is the raid entrance animation, and if it is, dude, it looks really fucking epic. Let me know what you guys thought about the Vidoc down in the comments below, as well as if you saw anything that we didn't talk about in this video, please feel free to highlight it and talk about it in the comments as well. They always like to hide as many secrets in these little Vidocs as possible. Thank you so much for your time and watching this video, and you guys be safe.